Hi there, it's Sam from poodles.co.uk. Thank you very much for joining me today. Today's project is this one. It's a lidded box, and it's a bespoke lidded box for a special mug. Now, I went to spend some time with three friends of mine recently. We had a lovely time together and I wanted to take them some treats. And I had found this beautiful mug by a company called 2 Up, 2 Down, which is a company I love very much, and I have got a lot of their mugs. They make billions of different ones, but I didn't like the box that they came in, and I also filled the mugs with some of the sweets that I brought back from our incentive trip. So these are what the mugs are like. You've got wording on the outside and then they're patterned on the inside. Some of them have got words at the bottom. I've got rainbow ones, I've got mum ones, I've got one that says home is where my cat is. Like, I've got dozens of them, and it just, you know, I wanted to take a special something for them. But like I say, I didn't like the box, didn't like that at all. So like I say, the company is called 2 Up, 2 Down. You can find them certainly on Amazon UK. And so I designed a box for them. And the way to measure to make a lidded box like this is that you start with the footprint of it. Okay, so the footprint of this one, it's 4.5 inches. I'm going to do the inches, but trust me that I've done the metric as well. So it's 4.5 inches that way. So I know that I need to start with 4.5. And then you've got to imagine the side of the box falling open. So I measured the depth of that, which is 3.75. That one is also 3.75. So when you add that together, it by pure fluke happens to total 12 inches. So I know that the width of the box going in one direction is got to be 12 inches. Then I did the same footprint again there. So the footprint from there to there is this 3.75, and it is there as well. Okay, so I added those three together, which gave me 11.25. So I need a piece of cardstock to do the base of it at that measurement. Okay, to do the lid, I could have done exactly the same measurement, but I decided I wanted the two-tone look of the cardstock and the foil. So I made my decision that this bit was going to be only 1.5 inches. So again, I looked at this part. So that's 4.5 inches from there to there. And I wanted a bit coming down that was 1.5 on either side. 1.5 inches down there and 1.5 inches down there. And that totaled 7.5 inches. And again, to get the depth of the other side, so that's 3.75. And I want 1.5 inches there and 1.5 there, which gave me a total of 6.75. So therefore, for the lid, I needed to cut a piece of cardstock of that size. And obviously, it depends on my mood as to whether I work in metric or imperial. So once I'd got that, what's the word? Translated it into metric? No, that's not right. You know what I mean. I worked out the metric measurements. Okay. And here is the easy part. I've cut my cardstock and I've gone for the third foil. So this one, as I said, 12 by 11.25 inches. But really, really easy. You don't have to start on one, you know, a long side or a short side. You simply score it at 3 3/4 inch all the way round, because the drop down footprint all the way round is the same as 3 3/4 inches all the way round. Easy. And again with the lid, as I said before, this measures 7.5 by 6 3/4, and the drop down that I wanted from the lid on all sides was 1.5 inches. You just score at 1.5 on all four. Like I say, I have done the metric measurements. I will have them on my blog. I will tell you now, super duper easy. For the base, 30.5 by 28.5, and you score it at 9.5 centimetres on all four sides. For the lid, 17.5 by 19.5, and you score it at 4 centimetres on all 4 sides. Because I believe you're all going to run out and buy these gorgeous, gorgeous mugs. Seriously, I've got loads of them. Okay. Let's burnish all of the sides. This tutorial is less about the box itself, but the box making process. I'm not going to burnish these with my bone folder. I'm burnishing only with my fingers. I have found that if you burnish too hard with a bone folder, it cracks. Nobody wants cracked foil. Okay, so I'm going to have to move these out of the way. They're right in front of me. So, can you see that this is a rectangle shape? That it's wider there than it is there. So you're starting on this side, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut, well, actually I'm going to wedge. I'm going to wedge there as well. I'm going to hack off a bit. And I'm going to repeat it there and there to fold in this way, and there to fold in that way. But you'll see it as I do it. So chop, chop, hack. I'm going to hack a bit more than that. Okay, and that's going to fold in, and I'm going to do the same as well there. And the reason you're hacking off there is actually you don't want an overlap of cardstock. You don't want this to overlap there and there. I'll demonstrate now. You would end up with too many layers. You'd end up with 3 layers of cardstock there. So that's why you hack off more than half. And that is more than enough to hold it in place. Oh, where's my light gone? There it is. Okay, so you've done that one side, exactly the same over here. And throw all your cardstock on the floor while you're at it. I'm going to have to get a broom up here later anyway. Once you know the principle of how to make a box for something by working out the measurements of the sides, you know, your world's going to be wide open to making boxes, and the possibilities are endless. So that's going to fold up and come round, and the sides are going to glue up. So while I've got my scissors out, I'm going to do the same on this. And again, look for the rectangle. And on this one, you just need to wedge, because obviously there's no chance of overlap. And I'm going to show you a little tip as to how to make sure your box fits, or your lid fits absolutely perfectly. So let's get rid of those. And I've got this face down so I can put my adhesive along here. Why do I keep losing my tear and tape? I would put, because these are quite heavy mugs, I'd put 2 pieces so that it doesn't fall open, but for speed I'm just going to do 1. But the other thing is, obviously, is this is going to be completely enclosed from the bottom up. I haven't got any glue at the bottom whatsoever, so that mug is not falling out. It's not going anywhere. The first time I measured up for it, I was like, I'm going to, you know, doing a box that would be made left to right and you wrap it round. I think I needed something like 18 inches. And I thought, no, I'm not doing that. Let's make a lidded box. Okay, so bring that round and line it up. And that one. Okay, now to do the lid. I'm going to use liquid glue for this one. So, start off by getting it roughly into shape and put it face down, because obviously the lid is going to go over that bit. face down, and we're going to come at this sideways. I know it sounds so complicated, it's not. Just get that out of the way. Liquid glue on this bit and this bit, and I'm wrapping it to fit, and I'm going to fold that down and hold it for a second, and then keeping my thumbs on it and in place, oops, keeping my thumbs on it and in place, I'm going to turn it over so I can work on the other side while that glue is going off. Again, hold it in position and close it down, and then just hold with your thumbs. And that's meaning I've got a perfect fit for my lid. I don't let go now. How long do I need to hold this for? I'm not sure. I don't know. Oh, there we go. So, that lid is on there. I've got the beautiful ribbon. I just wanted to go just a little bit more, but that is a perfectly snug fit. And that ain't going anywhere. Brilliant. And then just to finish, I went for the matching ribbon, Old Olive Pretty Peacock. It's called reversible ribbon. And I need to put my I need to put it inside. Need to put the mug inside. And then plenty of ribbon to get a decent bow on this. And that, I think, is lovely. And they're all quite heavy because they're full of sweeties and treats. But I think they're divine. I love them, and I hope the principle of how to measure for a box helps. What I'll do is I don't even know if I can deconstruct this one. The reason I went for a lidded box is I use less cardstock and less paper, because that is 17 plus inches. So I could have deconstructed this and made a complete template. I didn't want to. I wanted to do something a little bit different. So that's 16 inches just to about that point there. So far too big, and I didn't want to use 2 pieces of cardstock. I wanted to use 1. So there you go. Anyway. Thank you ever so much for joining me, and I hope to speak to you very soon. Bye.